Now you can hear everything we do. All right. So the first thing we would like you to do is go to this website, please. And if you've already logged in, just watch up here, okay? If you haven't logged in, just go here and you'll see what we're talking about. First thing I wanted to show you is this instructor support. This is for you, okay? See, clicking this link on that website, okay, go ahead and do that. It's going to take you to a series of help documents, videos, and other interactions that are going to help you with Canvas should you need it. So, for example, the very first link here is Getting Started Workshop. That's the paper you got in front of you today, all right? You can see there are other classes that you can sign up for. Creating and managing content, assignments and assessments in Canvas, managing the gradebook in Canvas.
Mine brings up Blackboard.
Yours opened up in Blackboard.
Yeah.
Okay. Keeman, have a look at what he's saying here. Okay, if you go down a little bit farther, you can see the register button. That's where you can register for these other classes. You can sign up for these other classes there. And then there's other documentation, comparing Canvas and Blackboard, for example. They'll give you some of the features and how they compare one to the other. There's some more of these, and then if you go all the way down to the bottom, and I found these very helpful, these Canvas video guides. The people at Canvas, and one high school teacher in Washington, created all these little mini videos about, for example, the dashboard. You go in there and you watch a 1.5-minute video just about the dashboard and what it means. And it's all listed for you on the right side of the screen. Okay? And that is the instructor support page. Any questions about the instructor support page? Okay, great. We're going to ask you to go back to that website, the ng.elms.umd.edu. And if you haven't already, go ahead and click Log into Elms. You have this open in another web browser? Yeah, you're going to have to log in.
Different tab.
Oh, okay, great.
And my mom's already logged in. So.
Okay, click the tab. Okay, and then please look up at me when you're logged in so I know that everybody's ready. Great. All right. Kimi, why don't you just sit here for a second till she's oriented. Now, depending on what you are doing in Canvas, you're going to see different things here. And I want you to think of this. This is called the dashboard. This is the first screen you, as an instructor, as a course builder, are going to see when you log into Canvas. And what it is a global view of everything that's going on in Canvas for you. Now, we've logged in here as Deb Maddock. I don't know if you know her, but she's kind of the Canvas person here. She knows it front and back. She's got 72 courses in there, right? And what she's looking at here is information from all of her courses. It's just like a Facebook page. It's just a Facebook page. Anything happening in any of her courses gets posted right up here. So let's say that she puts an announcement in one of her courses and her student responds to that announcement. Bam, it's going to show up right here. It's all private in Canvas. Okay? So that's what this area is. Information, communications from all of your courses. So if you're teaching 3 courses, you'll see stuff from all 3 courses here. If you're teaching 72 courses, you'll see stuff from 72 courses here, which is kind of what you're seeing. Now, over to the right is a to-do list. If you're allowing students to upload papers into Canvas, and you can grade them in Canvas. If you take the grading class, you'll see how to do that. Very simple, bam, bam, bam. If you do that, when a student turns in a paper, you're going to get a to-do list over here. So you have to grade papers from these classes. It's a reminder for you, okay? So even if you don't score them in Blackboard, they've uploaded them. For example, if you teach English and somebody's uploaded a paper, you can download it from Canvas. But this will remind you. This is Johnny Smith uploaded his so-and-so paper today, and you need to score it. Down here, this is just kind of another view of the calendar coming up. That just tells you what else is going on, all right? And you actually have a personal calendar here. We're going to look at it in a minute. Let's say you put a haircut for Saturday on your calendar. That would show up down here. Nobody sees it but you. But that's what this is. So each course has a calendar. I'm sorry. Each course has a calendar. Events from your calendars will show up here. And my experience when I tried this out was about a week before they're happening, you'll see them over there. Okay? Now, this is called the communication stream, what you're looking at now. And all of your courses have this. They say recent activity right at the top. And it's like a Facebook page, as I said. As things happen in your courses, they are posted automatically here. Just above that, you'll see if you mouse over this, you'll see your courses. You should see all the courses you're involved in for what semester, I don't remember. You'll know when you see them. It's probably old courses. I don't think they've populated your spring course yet. Okay? But these are the classes that you're involved in, and you're going to see one extra called Canvas Training Workshop Sandbox. That's the one you're going to use today. So you can mess around in it and you don't have to worry about your other classes. Okay, the next one is an assignments tab, and there's all your to grade stuff there. If you click assignments, it'll take you to a site where you see all the papers and all the classes that you've set up for scoring that have to be scored. The next one is grades. And remember now, we're in a kind of a global environment here. We're looking at all of our classes. So if you click grades, go ahead and click that. You're going to see information on all your classes, but it's kind of aggregated information. So if you gave a test last week and the average score in your class was 78, that's why you see the 77.5 over here. Okay, so this is kind of an aggregated look at all of your classes. Okay, of course, if you don't have any grades in that class, you won't see any. Okay, let's go back to the dashboard by clicking on the University of Maryland icon. And you can always get back to the dashboard by doing that. The last one across the top there is calendar. And by clicking that link, and we're going to come back to it in a minute, you're going to see your global calendar. This is the calendar that contains all of your courses. And don't worry about what that means yet. You'll see it in a second. And then some items that we're going to come back to later on in the training. In the top right, that gray bar across the top, you should see your name first. If you don't see your name, you need to talk to somebody after class today. Let me know. You should see an inbox. That's where all your conversations are going to be kept. We'll look at that later in the training. That's where your private conversations between you and your students are housed. The next one is settings. And these are for global settings. You'll find out today that you have two different settings buttons. You've got a settings button that's global, where you'll post your picture, for example, because that's your you for all your classes, right? And then you'll have settings in each course so that you can manage the courses the way you want to manage them. And of course, there's log out, and then there's help. Okay. Any questions about the dashboard? Because we're going to go to the calendar now. Have a look at the calendar. Yes?
Suppose you're teaching a large course, like 75 students.
Yes.
But every single one submits an assignment that shows up as a separate item in that. Would you
Well,
do this?
here's what I would say. If I was teaching 75 students, I'd have them turn in their papers. Paper. I wouldn't have them do it this way,
Okay.
unless you're brave. Very brave.
I'm thinking about the TAs.
Yeah, no. You know, my son went to Penn State. He was in a class with 400 kids at a time. I understand that, and that's a management issue for you. See, that's the beauty of this interface. You're going to decide how you want to use it. Okay? Some teachers are going to have 12 or 15 kids in the class, right? I guess. And for them, this might be a simple matter. I'm teaching one class. There are 12 kids in there. They're going to have them upload here all day long, and it won't overwhelm me. But if you've got a lot of kids in the class, and you may not want to use this turn it in electronically feature. That's up to you. Yes?
This is related. If you have TAs, can you give them, can they have sort of authority over certain
Yeah, they should actually be in there, and if they're not, there will be a tool available that you'll be able to use on that instructor help page that's going to allow you to invite TAs into your class. They should already have access. If we do a little break today, we'll go in and have a look. Okay? And you probably should send them to this training. I think that would be a good idea as well, if they're going to be using it. Yes?
If you have students from multiple classes, do they all just show up on the list, or is it divided by the course?
Oh yeah, everything's divided by the course. And all the information comes in from the central database here. What do they call it? UMaid? From the central database, so that when you are assigned a class and you are assigned students, that all is populated automatically here. You don't have to invite students. You don't have to invite TAs. That should all happen automatically when they do the move. Mr. Burke, is it correct that the spring information isn't in here yet? Is that right?
It depends on what spring information you're talking about.
Well, they're TAs, for example, in their spring courses.
TAs may not be identified.
Okay, they may not be identified yet. When they are, that will populate. Yes?
I try and teach, first of all, I teach in the graduate program, and I often teach in the executive program, so
Mhm.
they're only tangentially tied to the university.
Right.
I try and keep a file on a disk on a course-by-course basis historically. How difficult is it to transfer all the data, the papers and everything else, onto a separate file?
Your files?
Yeah.
We're going to go through a whole thing on that. No problem. Yes?
Just one more question about
Sure.
TAs.
Yeah.
So we have a class that has 12 sections, and
Yes.
each TA teaches 3.
Yes.
Would they have individual pages with just their sections? Would that be possible?
That's a question for you to scribble down for me, and so I don't want to answer that. I'm not sure.
The answer is yes.
Say it again.
I'm a TA, and
Oh.
we have individual courses based on sections, so it is possible.
Great.
Yeah,
There you go.
I believe that tool is just released,
Okay.
allowing TAs to have their own sections.
Okay, beautiful. All right. Thank you. Okay, let's have a look at the calendar. Go ahead and click on that calendar link. And because you're all doing it at once, it may be a little bit slow.
Yes.
And we're gonna ask you to be patient with all of your clicking, okay? If you're like certain people I know in my family, click, 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 you know, if it doesn't happen instantly, here, click, don't do that, because then you're gonna you're gonna gum up the works. All right, so here's what you see. A calendar, a current calendar, current month, it'll always appear there. If it's December, you're gonna see the December calendar. Over here, you'll see it'll show you what day we are on, of course. And then here, and this I think is the most powerful part, is which calendar do I want to look at? Okay? If the little box next to an item is colored, right, you're going to see all the information over here from that item. So go ahead and click them so that they're all lit up. And you're not going to see anything because you haven't posted anything there yet, but you'll get the idea. Go ahead and click some of these, Ken, if you don't mind. Just let's click the first 4 or 5. Student resource homepage. That's it. Okay, so here's what happens. Items that have been added to the calendar appear color-coded to whatever color you see over there on the right. Right? So here's reading is due, and I can't really tell what color that is. It looks maybe a next gen. Go ahead and unclick that. Let's see if that works. You see? If he unclicks that, that item disappears. And now we're only looking at these 3, which are from another class, whatever it might be. So it'll assign a different color depending on that, on the class. Any questions so far? All right, another beautiful thing that you can do with this calendar is you can create events, right? This first one, by the way, is yours alone, and nobody in your class sees that but you. If you unclick everything and create events on your personal calendar, nobody sees those items but you. Okay? So let's do this. Let's unclick all of these, Ken, except for the top one. Okay? And she has so many, I don't know. There you go. Now it's clear. So now what we're looking at is we're looking at Deb's personal calendar. Okay? And so let's say there's a holiday party on the 15th of the month. She can click one time on the 15th, and she gets this edit event. And notice that the only choice she has is the event. If this was in a class, she'd have two choices. One is event, one is assignment. So she can put an event there, or she can put an assignment there and give it all kinds of attributes. So go ahead and put office party, and it's going to be from 4 to 6. Office parties are often 4 to 6. Everybody leaves. And it's going to go on her calendar. Go ahead and submit that. And we're going to have to remove that, or else your mom's going to show up at a party next weekend. Okay. So, and there it is on her calendar. If she unclicks her calendar, if he unclicks her calendar, it's gone. Okay. So she can see her personal calendar and her calendar for any other class. Okay. So did you remove that? Go ahead and just get rid of that, please. You can delete it. You can edit it. All right. Let's go to one of the classes now and create something else. Pick the second one. Now he's in a class. He's looking at the calendar for a class. The class is called Canvas LMS Evaluation Support Committee. I'm not sure what that is, but it's a class. So if he single clicks on one of these dates, he can either create an event or he can create an assignment. Click that assignment tab. And look at this. He can give the assignment a title, call it Reading 1. It's due on the 15th. It's going to go on this calendar. You can call it homework, or you can call it other stuff. Go ahead and click that. Projects, assignments, you can call it one of those items. Okay? And let's call it an assignment. And then you can click this More Options tab and watch what this does for you. Now we're in this screen with an assignment. We already know when it's due, right? Because that's where he put it on the calendar. And look at his options. He's calling it an assignment. The assignment has a title. He can put in there how many points it's worth. He can say when it's due. He can lock it until a certain date so they can't see it until a certain date. Now look at the submission. This is what we were talking about earlier. If you click that, you can have an online submission or paper submission. Okay? Notify users if anything changed. Grading by points, percentage, letter grade, and so on. This is a group assignment. If you create groups in Canvas, let's say you're teaching in a class where you've got 3 groups, you can set up groups in Canvas and you can make this a group assignment if you wanted to. Okay? Up above here, yes?
Sorry, I knew you were just about to say, I was going to ask, is that the text or the assignment content?
Well, I'm going to show you. We're going to show you that right now. Okay, so this is called Reading 1. Please read Chapter 1. Ken, if you would type this in, please. Please read Chapter 1 by Friday. These are your directions. And then, of course, you got to go down here to update it. Don't click it yet. You can add links to this assignment. You can add files to this assignment. You can add images to this assignment. Okay? So, I don't know. Let's have a picture of the lab. Let's put a picture of the lab in there. There you go. So, sit at your desk and read Chapter 1 by Friday. You can put images, you can put websites, anything you need to put in this. It's a wiki page. And it's got all these tools that most of us have used in the past with different kinds of documentation. If you teach math or physics or something, you can put equations in here, very complicated equations as well, using the Solid Equations tool at the top. Okay? Change the font size of the paragraph and so on. Now when he clicks Update, okay, now in the Assignments tab over here, he's in his class now. We're going to talk about this in a second. Let's go back up to the calendar, Ken, to the global calendar. While we're waiting for this to boot, why don't you go ahead and create an assignment in your Canvas Training Workshop Sandbox calendar. Make sure that's the one you selected. unselect all the other ones. And raise your hand if you need somebody to come around. We're going to give you a little playtime here. Yes?
So just a quick question, so if we want to create in any, if we want to create just one.
Did you say
then
you
we
didn't have a
to
course?
course?
What's your UID?
Well, if you're in the course, you're going to see the course calendar. This is just one way of creating an assignment. It's a good question. Yes, the answer is, yeah, you do have to unclick everything here, but if you're in a course, you're only going to see that course's assignment.
Okay, but if we approach it from a global calendar, we have to make sure everything else is on that.
Uncheck.
Doesn't it just like just do that? I mean, I just run into this.
Oh, you click it on the right.
And I, yeah, and I use that to just look at it, so I can add in the assignment here.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so click the little, sorry. You click the little down arrow on the right. Add assignment for that class. Okay, good. If you're struggling or wondering at all about this, have a look up here. Someone just showed me something I didn't know. You can go over to the right here. Whoops. And if you hover over any of these classes, you can click on this little link to the right, and you can add an assignment only for that class. So you don't have to unclick everything. I'm sorry, I said that incorrectly. I'm going to give you one more minute. Yes. Yeah, that's because you're on your personal calendar. So, this is your class? Is it not a class?
Yeah, that's my class.
I made a course for you.
Okay.
Okay.
It should be there somewhere.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to use it. All right.
No, that's what, it just, it wrapped it.
Okay, folks, another 15 seconds or we're going to continue.
Yeah, it wrapped it. I thought I did something wrong. Okay.
All right, activity one on the calendar. Any questions about the calendar? Yes?
Yeah, I may have missed this because I got distracted, but
Okay.
is there a way to put in an event for all your classes at the same time, or do you have to do each one individually? Like, say there's a lecture that you want all your students to know about. Is there a way to do that?
I haven't tried that. If you would write that question down, I'll be certain to get you an answer on that.
Are you asking about, like, say you have multiple sections in one course?
No, I'm talking about if I have, say, 3 different courses, but there's a lecture in the department and I want all the students to know.
Okay, yeah. If it were sections in a course, you'd be able to tell all the sections at the same time, but
Okay.
you'd have to do each course one
Each
at a
course.
time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right. Now I'd like you to hover over your courses tab at the top, and I want you to pick, if you have it already, Canvas Training Workshop Sandbox. And Ken, we're going to get the Getting Started in Canvas workshop right here. Next, 2 more down. There you go. Okay, so here's what I want to stress to you now. There are 2 environments in Canvas. One is global, that's the one we've been working in, right? We saw all the calendars in global. Remember, we saw all the grades from all the classes in that global dashboard. Now we're in a course. We're in a course. This is different. This course has one calendar, and it's a calendar only for this course. On the left, you have a number of buttons now that are going to allow you to do things within this course only. Within this course only. Remember, everything up at the top of the screen there, that's global. We're down in a course now. You don't have what?
I don't have the course.
Okay, then open one of your courses from last semester.
I don't.
You don't have any courses.
No.
You have 0 courses?
Is there anybody else that has 0 courses?
That's your course.
No, it doesn't say Get Started Workshop, all it says is Sandbox.
Yeah, that's what you guys
That's
use.
all I have.
That is the course.
Okay, folks, let me get your attention. All right. On the left-hand side of the screen, you've got all the tools available to you in Canvas. And some of them are highlighted, some of them are grayed out. It makes no difference to you. You have access to all of them. Okay? If they're grayed out, it's for two reasons. One reason would be that you don't have any content in there yet. The other reason is you've made it unavailable to students. Okay? So that's why some of these may or may not be grayed out. Yes?
In Blackboard, there is an email function.
Yes.
Is that not here and you use the internal system, or is that yet to come?
You're going to use an internal system to communicate with your students if you want to do it in Canvas. You can do it your regular way if you like. You can do your regular UMD email if you like. If you go in here, if you use the inbox here, we're going to talk about it later in the training. Your students and you have a number of different ways to communicate. For example, they may prefer to get their grade, or they may prefer to get their notices from you, emails from you, grades from you using Facebook. Okay? If you post, you grade one of their papers in there and you post the grade, Facebook, bam, up comes a message. Dr. Jones graded your paper 1 today. Click here and it'll take you right into Canvas. They can look at their grade. Okay? So they will choose how they want to get your communication. I'm going to talk about this later on. But not to worry, their UMD email is default in here. Okay? The UMD email is default, and they cannot remove it.
Can they add to it?
They can add as many things as they want. They can do Facebook, Twitter, they can do text messages, they can do their Google email.
My problem is that many of my students are not closely related, and they have another email address that they use more frequently.
Yeah, I'll show you that later on. They can add it. They can add an email address.
Cool.
So they choose how they receive the communication.
Yeah, and so do you. We're going to talk about that later on. You get to decide that as well. Look, if it's my son wants to do everything with text message. He will not talk to me on the phone. He will not. Okay? But if I text him, bang, I get an immediate response. When he was away at school, I had the phone would ring and ring and ring, and I'd text him, bang, I get an answer immediately. So it's a lesson that I learned about him. And he would probably choose text messages. If you send him an email, he'd get a text message that says, Dr. Jones sent you an email. In Canvas, go look at it. Okay? All right, so these are all your choices. You get lots of them. But you're going to be able to customize this so that your students only see the ones you want them to see. Okay? They will always have a home button. Okay? But you may want to remove some of these others, and I'm going to show you how to do that in a couple of minutes. Now, when you log into a course, you're going to get this recent activity screen. It's by default. You're going to be able to change that later on. I'll show you how using this change homepage layout point. Okay? Down at the bottom is this next steps bar. You may or may not see that. Is there anybody who doesn't see it? Oh, good. Okay. Usually it pops right up when you go into a course. You can close it by clicking the X on the right. I'll talk more about that in a second. Let me close that camera. And as soon as you close it, you get a course setup checklist button up here if you want to get it back. Okay? Go ahead and click that. And look what it does. It comes back here and it reminds us about things to do to set up a course. It's just a reminder bar. It's a place where you can go to import content, add assignments, and so on. These are things you can do up here. You don't have to really worry about this, but they put it in there as a reminder to instructors, especially instructors new to Canvas. All right? Now, one of the important links here is this publish course thing. Your students cannot see anything you do until you publish the course. You cannot unpublish a course. Okay? You cannot unpublish a course. If you, if you go into a course and you accidentally publish it, it could be a problem, but only momentarily. You can set up the course once it's published to be available on a certain date. Right? So if you make that mistake, you can't unpublish a course. Once it's published, it goes out to your learners either immediately or on the date that you specify.
What kills them in past semesters?
I'm sorry?
What kills it in past semesters? After the semester is 2 years ago, it's still up to those students?
No, you close the course.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you'll be able to close the course. Okay, let's close that thing on the bottom there, Ken. And let's talk about announcements. Announcements is a tool in Canvas that you can use to make announcements to your students. And you have the option, once you make that announcement, to have them reply to it if they have to. Okay? So, to create an announcement, and you can do this several different ways. If you go ahead and click that course setup checklist up there, you can see down here you can add assignments and do different kinds of things. But up here, we want a new announcement. Okay? So go ahead and click New Announcement on the top right side of your page. Raise your hand if you don't find it. All right, we're going to create an announcement, and while we do it, I'd like you to create an announcement. Okay? Give it a title, and then type one sentence of text in here, and we'll talk some more about this area. So our title is going to be Site Change. And inside we're going to say, we will meet in Woods Building, room 232 this week. Okay. Give you a second to go ahead and type your message, or not if you don't want to. Now, let's say that I'm not sure my students know where Woods Building is, and I have a map of the Canvas. I have a map of the Canvas loaded on my computer. I can add a file. Attached, go ahead, Ken, you can type this in. Attached is a map of UMD Campus. He put that in his message, and he could browse and attach the map. You can delay posting. Maybe you don't want them to get it till Monday, and Saturday night you're creating this announcement. You can delay the posting to the time and date of your choice. Users must post before seeing replies. I'm not sure what this is for, but as an instructor, you may have a use for this. In other words, if I say, let me know that you got this message, right? Let me know you got it. Now you're demanding a reply from your students. Enable a podcast feed. I'm not sure how that works. Don't ask me. Yes?
When you say that they have to reply, would they be replying into the system, or would you get
I'll show you.
emails from
I'll show you. We'll show you in a second. When they click on an announcement, they have a little reply box unless you turn it off. Okay? All right, we're going to pretend we attach the file. We're not going to attach the file right now, but if you look over here to the right, I could attach a file. I could put a website in here saying, listen, I want you to visit this website before class tomorrow in your announcement. You could post the website in here. You could put an image if you wanted to. And all the images that you've uploaded in the Canvas will appear over there. That's a picture of me. But for you, you might have a different image. And if you don't see the image that you want, you can upload a new image, and that'll take you to a browse upload button that you can take pictures from your computer. All right, let's save this. If you don't save it, it's going to disappear. Here's what we got. This is our announcement. The instructor's picture is next to it, if you want to put it there. Here's the announcement, and here's the reply box that your students will use. When they log in, they'll see the announcement, and they'll have a reply box, unless they click this, close for comments. If you don't want to reply, you don't want to be bothered with a reply, just read the darn announcement and show up in class. You can click close for comments, and when they see it, the reply box will not be there.
If they do reply, where does it show up to us?
Right under the announcement.
Right under the announcement. Right under the
So
announcement.
it doesn't show up in that dashboard, that initial dashboard, it shows up, you have to.
No, it shows up there too.
It shows up in both.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, any questions about this? So you can add media to this announcement, you can add links, you can add just about anything you can think of for these announcements. And by default, they go out to everybody who's associated with that class. Everybody who's associated with that class. Remember, we're not in the global Canvas anymore, we're in a course. You're in a sandbox course, I'm in my course, And everything I do in this course applies only to this course. So the TAs assigned to this course will get the announcement, the students will get the announcement, but students in my other classes, TAs in my other classes will not get it. Okay. Any question about announcements? Okay. Now this navigation bar here on the left. Are you in student view now, Ken?
No, when you go to announcements or one of the
Oh.
other things, occasionally it'll actually just get rid of the ones that
All the
aren't
grayed
in
out
use.
ones? I didn't know that. Okay, so what Ken is saying is, sometimes when you go to the announcement, once you've created an announcement, it takes you to the home page, which by default is this communication stream. Some of the buttons on the left will disappear.
If you want to see them all again, just go back to the home of your course.
Just click home, and you get everything else back. We're going to talk about customizing this next, okay? We're going to talk about customizing this next. Why is the announcements grayed out? We just created an announcement.
Probably because you don't allow students to see it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait, that was assignment. Sorry.
Let's undo that. Pardon me 1 second.
Yeah. It's probably because it's hidden to students. So you want to go over that real quick?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Okay. See this settings button down here? You'll get this in every course. And this is so you can adjust settings for your individual course. There's another settings button up there. Anything you do in that settings button applies to all your courses, right? So if you put your biography in there, all the students in all your classes, if they click your picture or something, they'll see your biography. But down here, you're going to make settings only for this course. So go ahead and click that. And we're only going to briefly discuss it, but I would like you to stop doing what you're doing and look up here while I walk you through this, and then we're going to give you a chance to do it on your own. There are 2 sections if you click the navigation tab. Go ahead and click that navigation tab so you can see what I'm seeing, and then stop and watch up here. Once you do that, you're going to see all of your links. Some are in blue, highlighted in blue, and if you scroll down, you're going to see these ones that are in gray. Right? These at the bottom are pieces of Canvas that you absolutely do not want your students to see. They'll never see them if they're down here, whether they have content or not. If I'm not going to do any conferences or collaborations, I'm not going to use Panopto with my class. I can simply grab them one at a time and drag them down here. And they will disappear from the menu up top. Let's get rid of the conferences. Let's get rid of collaboration. Let's get the outcomes out of there. We'll do that somewhere else. And let's get discussions out of there. Okay? Now, I've got all these at my disposal still. If I go back to the course, I'm going to still see them over here. Some are grayed out, and I can still use them. But they're not going to be available to students unless I drag them back up there. You can do that. Go ahead and drag the discussions back up. And you can put it up there where it can be seen again. Now let's scroll down a little bit, Ken. The other down. Down.
It's down.
Let's scroll down. In other words, I want the top of the page down farther. There you go. All right, now, what if I like this, but I don't like the order they're in? You just click and drag them anywhere you want, except for the home button. That always stays on top. Okay? So go ahead and play around with this a little bit in your sandbox, and if you have questions, raise your hand. We'll come around and give you a hand.
What are pages?
In a minute, we're going to go into student view where you can see what the students are actually going to be seeing. Yes?
There's no correlation between the ones that are grayed out and the ones that are hidden.
If they're still grayed out on the left, that's because you don't have any content. Remember, there were 2.
But this one's dark, and it's hidden, and there's no content.
Let's call that an anomaly. Okay, sorry about that. I'm not sure why that is.
Also, we didn't tell them to save after they changed it.
Ooh! Ken just reminded me that we didn't click save. If you don't click save, it will not save. It won't save your changes. I'm sorry. So if you've gone to all that trouble, then you click away from it, you've lost your changes. I'll link it. All right.
Thanks.
It's your fault for reminding me. Did we get to your question yet about, that was the student back and forth? We're going to do that a little later in the training. Okay, good. All right, click the Save button, Ken. Okay, now it's been saved. We also have some other tabs up here. I just want to show you the course details tab. Okay, kind of gives you the information about your course. One of the pieces I think is very valuable to you if you're a heavy media user. You get 5 gigabytes of space in here. That's 10 times more than you had in Blackboard. So if you upload a lot of videos and audio and images, you're going to have a lot more flexibility than you had before. And if you, let's see, have a look over here on the right to course statistics. And go to file storage. Now you're seeing some information about assignments and students and your file storage that's particular and specific to this course only. Okay? And it'll let you know how much space you have left here. And I'm guessing that they'll probably give you more space if you request it, but this is 5 gigs of a lot of space. All right, let's click the Settings tab again, if you don't mind. And if you look at the top right button on the right side, I want to show you 2 buttons over here that would be important to you. One is this Reset Course Content. If you click that, everything you've done is erased in the course. Okay? Don't click that. It's simple. And then on the top right is your student view. Let's say you've created a quiz in Canvas. We're not going to learn how to do that today. But let's say you did know how to create a quiz in Canvas. You could go in here, click Student View. Okay? Now you're seeing exactly what the student will see. Everything's highlighted on the left. All the buttons are live, right? They're getting this home page that is the default home page, the recent activity home page. Okay? See my grade so far? You've got a upcoming assignments tab here. If you've created an assignment for this class and it's due in the next week or so, it's going to remind them about it. And recent feedback, let's say you send them a message. They would see that here. If you created a quiz and you wanted to see what the student experience with that quiz would be, you can actually go in here and take the quiz. Now, I saw some information on the web that I thought I should share with you, and this is that there is a test student by default in Canvas. That's this person that we're looking at now, test student. See up there, his name is test student. And if you have a whole class that's taking a quiz, you got 20 kids that took a quiz and you want to know what the average score is, it's going to calculate test students' score in there. And they are working on a fix for that. Okay? Lots of complaints from instructors say, oh, it's ruining my whole thing. I took the quiz, I didn't do well on it. My kids got it, my students took it, and now I've ruined all their average scores. So if you work that way with average scores and so on, this is something you need to think about. Okay? Now, if you do go and take a quiz or upload a quiz or email the professor and you're on a website and you don't want that test student to have any of that information, you can reset the student down here on the lower right. You click that, everything you've done as a test student disappears. It says, are you sure you want to delete everything? You're always going to get that message. And when you're ready to leave the student view, that blue button on the bottom right allows you to leave the student view. So go ahead and leave the student view, Ken. What time is it getting to be here? Okay, 10:59. We're doing great. Okay. One of the most important things that you're going to be thinking about when your information, if you used Blackboard before, all the files that you used in Blackboard are going to be migrated automatically into these new courses. Some of them already have. If you've got some old classes in there. Let's click this Files link on the left side of the page. And again, this is files only for this course. Yes?
What if the files is grayed out?
It's okay, you can still click it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Remember, if there's nothing in there, or if you haven't made it active for students, you probably don't want to make files active for students, unless you're going to use it as a library for your students. So if you have all your personal files, all your class files in there, some you want them to see now, some you don't want them to see, you're not going to make that Files tab available probably to the students, but that's another issue. You'll figure that one out. When you click Files for this course, you're going to see the files for this course. Now remember at the beginning we loaded a folder onto your desktop. You should be able to see the browser and that folder now. If you can't, please raise your hand. Someone will come and make sure that you can. All right. Now, yes?
No,
I'm sorry.
I can't. Collaboration, is that it?
No, you want to click Files here.
Yeah, I'm on files.
When it's gray.
No, we want you to be able to see the desktop over here.
Oh, I see it.
Okay?
I got you.
Good. So over here, you've got a kind of a master list of your files, and by default, they create this collaborations folder for you. So that's not something you need to worry about. There's nothing in it. Okay? And I'm guessing, see this collaborations link down here? If you do that stuff, it probably populates in there. I'm not sure about that. And then we've got this Daniel Craig profile picture that was somehow uploaded onto this site. You probably won't see anything. But if you go into one of your classes this spring when you get started and they've populated it, let's say you taught a course and you used 75 files, but they were in 4 folders, right? You had them all organized. Each folder had a name. Well, you're not going to get those folders. They're just going to come up as files. And they're going to populate over here as a long list of files. And that's why in a minute we're going to talk to you about re-uploading your files in an organized way, because you can do that. Okay? So if you, there are several things you can see when one of the things that Canvas allows you to do is preview your files. There's a little preview button there. You can either click on the file over here, and you get that picture over here, right? Go ahead and undo that. Or there's a little preview button right here under the file name, and you can click that. And there it is. Now, what if that was a PowerPoint with 40 slides in it? You can look at all the slides in the preview. You can look at it. You can scroll right through it. Okay? You can add files to your folder, and you can add, to the files area, and you can add a folder. Let's make a new folder. Go ahead and do that, please. Let's call that folder Test Folder 1.
Make sure you hit enter. If you click
Yeah.
away, it won't make the folder.
Thank you.
At least as of this week.
Now, we're going to leave that for a second. Now, you probably have nothing over here but Test Folder 1, right? You don't have any files, okay? You haven't uploaded any. We're going to do that in a minute. Look at this next icon next to Add Folder. Mouse over it. Don't click it. Just mouse over it. It'll say download files in this folder as a zip. So if you're familiar with using zip files, compressed files, let's say you had 250 files in here, you could highlight them all, you could drag them to that folder, and you could download them as a zip so you can organize them on your desktop. One of the things about the files that are uploaded into Canvas is if they had long names in Blackboard, they're not going to transfer over here. If they had question marks in the title, periods in the title, quotation marks in the title, they're not coming over. The only files that are going to come are those that have clean names, assignment1.doc, for example. If you put another period somewhere else in that title, it's not coming. Okay? So one of the things you have to do is reorganize. You may want to take all the files, download them as a zip, reorganize them, and start over. That would be up to you. The next icon to the right of that and just mouse over that, import a zip file. So let's say you had all of your files in the folders and they were organized the way you wanted them to. You could zip those files on your desktop or on your computer and upload them. We're going to do that together now. Okay? Yes?
I tend to use PDF files on my computer
Yes.
and upload them in.
Yes.
Blackboard was sensitive to certain kinds of marks, and it wouldn't. When the student went in, he couldn't get to the particular thing. Is this thing sensitive, or can you name? Are there any naming conventions you need to worry about when you bring them in?
Well,
When you
the
bring-
only, I'm sorry.
When you bring it in, if you have spaces, periods, commas, quotations, any special characters, it won't bring in the file. But if you bring in the file named something that it accepts, you can then rename it to add periods once it's in the system.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
If you look at this file that's here, for example, if you go over to the very right side of that, don't click, just mouse over it. There's a little pencil in there. You can edit the name of the file there if you want to.
Yeah.
Okay.
As opposed to just sort of clicking on it like you used to be able to get the.
If
Yeah, you wouldn't want to click on it to rename it. You can rename it over here. You can also lock it. Lock it means that the student can see it but cannot open it.
Actually, lock means they can't see.
Lock, they can't see it. There you go. And then there's a trash can if you want to throw it away. It doesn't throw it away from your computer. It just throws it away from Canvas. All right. Remember this folder we put on your desktop? And let's make sure that that's visible over here. Go ahead and double click your folder. And now you should be able to see your folder. And let's see, I get it over to the side a little bit if you can't keep. There you go. Yikes. Is this going to be a problem, folks? If it is, let's just not worry about it. All right, I can tell you this, you're all good users. In Chrome, Firefox, and Safari, if you have your files on your desktop in a folder or somewhere over here in a folder, you can actually just click the file and drag it into Canvas. Okay? You can't do that with IE. That's why we ask you not to use it. And there are some other little features in IE that won't allow this kind of a thing. Okay? Another thing you can do is add a file. Click Add Files. You get this browse screen. You can go to that folder we put on your desktop, Getting Started, and go ahead and add a couple of files into your let's do the Getting Started with Canvas. And just go ahead and bring some of those pictures in there. Take your time. Sometimes it takes a while. You'll see something saying uploading file. Just be patient. If you would, navigate to the desktop where you will find that Getting Started in Canvas folder. So you're going to add files. Right here.
Yeah.
And click desktop.
I personally have a rule when I do this. If it's more than like 10 files, I will zip that folder and put it in as a zip. And it'll go faster. Because if you have like more than 10 files, it freaks out.
There it is.
So do you highlight
What we're going to do is zip those files.
This, yeah, you can either put it add files.
To the desktop. And I got this folder called Getting Started. Yeah, there you go.
It's because you're in the
Oh yeah, don't do that yet. Open it. We just want to. Okay, well you got it open twice now. Just go ahead and take one of those files. You're gonna drag it in. Or...
Yeah, I've done that.
Okay, good. We're gonna zip it in a minute.
Yeah, but yours is still 50.
That may be just because of the.
I did that just so I know that it's doing something.
Where are you putting them? This is the question. So you're adding a file.
No, I was right.
Oh, you're dragging. Did you drag it to a folder or did you just drag it over here? I can't see what that says. So I'm just gonna close that. I'm gonna close this.
Close current tab, which one, that one right there.
She's in Internet Explorer. See, that's why it's not working. We didn't want to use Internet Explorer.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
Oh, you're welcome. All right, listen, here's what we're going to do now. We're going to zip that folder on your desktop and upload the whole folder at once, okay? So if you've got a folder at home that you want to upload and you want to do it all at one time, I'm going to walk you through the steps. Kimi, would you do this while I talk about it? Okay, I'll through it. Yes?
Okay, so when we were doing this, and yours is kind of the same thing, the files that you put in there ended up under collaborations. Oops, I made a mistake on one of them in my test folder of one.
Okay.
How do I get them from collaborations to my test folder?
Okay, good question. You've got to click the little down arrow on collaborations if you put it in that folder by mistake, okay? And you're going to have to drag it. And moving file, I should have told you about this. Watch how we move files in Canvas. You cannot click on the file name and drag it someplace, right? You have to click on that icon. Click on the icon, right here, Jerry. Whoops, cancel. And you'll get a little, crosshairs, right? Now you can grab it and drag it up to test folder 1. And give it time to make that change. All right, I'm actually not supposed to do this in this training, it's a little advanced, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to show you a fast, why don't I just demonstrate it? You won't have to do it, okay? What we're going to do is we're going to zip all the files on that desktop folder. And we're going to upload them as a zipped file into Canvas. I want you to see how it behaves when we do that. Okay? So here's our file. I'm going to wait till everyone's done. We're going to right-click on this. You can do this with me if you want, or just watch it if you like. And in Windows, you have to use Send To. Compressed zipped folder. Just click it and watch what happens. Whoop. No read permission. It must be locked. All right, we're going to skip that. We're done with that. Okay?
Are we going to come back to zipping?
If you stay 5 minutes after class, we'll zip together. All right. Now, we did have one person who was using Internet Explorer unintentionally who found that some of the stuff we just did was hard to do. So do remember that when you're building, not when you're the end user, but when you're doing what you're doing today, it's better if you use one of these more recent. Must have some anti-Microsoft bot. Bye, kids. Thank you. Graduating in May. Okay. We did preview files. Any questions about anything we've done so far? All right.
Can I just say a few things?
Of course.
Okay. One thing that actually got me a lot was the whole previewing versus not. Sometimes if the site's a little slow, the preview button will actually never show up in this section over here. So clicking the file over in this side will automatically preview it. On the other hand, if you have the folder open and you click the file, it'll download it. And I ended up filling up someone's computer trying to preview.
So let me repeat what you said because I had the same problem. If you click these links, Canvas says, oh, you want to download this file. And it will download the file onto your computer. Okay? So if you're moving these around, you want to click on the icon. If you want to edit the title, you want to click on that pencil over there. If you want to throw it away, you want to click on that trash can. You do not want to click on the item itself unless you want to put the item on your computer, because as soon as you click the item, go ahead and do that. As soon as you click the item, it wants to download that picture, that item, whatever it would be. Okay? Oh, you can cancel that. Thank you. If you're on a Mac, I use a Mac. If I click on that thing, I don't even get that little window. It just downloads the thing. It just goes right to my machine. Macs are always anticipating. Right? Okay. All right. The next thing we're going to talk about is the syllabus feature. Syllabus. I'd like you to look up here for a second, then we'll give you a chance to play around with it. Over here on the left is the syllabus link. And if you click that, Remember, we're all clicking at the same time. It slows things down. This is my home. This is an example of a syllabus. And here's the beauty of the syllabus in Canvas. There's good parts, there are good things about it, there are bad things about it. If I want to edit the syllabus, if I want to change this at all, I just click that edit sync link up there. Go ahead and do that. Just, you watch for a second. Go ahead and click that and see what it does. It opens up this wiki page, and I can do all kinds of things in here. I can put links, files, URLs, anything I want to put in there. Okay, let's just update it. That's the good part of the syllabus. If I have a PDF, a syllabus of my class that I want to upload, I can put it here. Here's the syllabus. They can click it, download it, and they can have your paper-based syllabus. You can actually copy your syllabus out of Word and paste it here so that all they see at the top is your syllabus.
Does it keep the formatting?
No. Here's what you got to do. You got to. This is actually going to. Some of you are going to get this, and some of you won't because you don't use. Not nerdy like I am. But one of the things you can do is you can open your syllabus in Notebook or Notepad in Windows, right? It's unformatted in there. And then you can copy it out of Notepad. What do they call it on a Mac?
Text edit?
Text edit. You can put it in there, copy it out of there, paste it in here, and it won't have a bunch of little goofy symbols and stuff, but it won't be formatted. You can just reformat it right in here the way you want to.
They're called rich text editor
Rich
programs.
text editor. Yep.
But you can't like download a Word document from your computer onto Coursera?
Yeah, but it's going to show up as an icon in here, right?
Oh, okay.
That they can click and open. You have all kinds of choices. I mean, you can have a link to it, or you can have the actual document there. Okay.
It is pretty good at importing Word though. I did it and it kept like boxes that I made. So
Yeah,
that was pretty
you would
nice.
have to do some editing. You would have to do some editing. Let's say a question mark showed up every time you put a quotation mark, you get a question mark. You can do a find and replace. I don't know if you can do find and replace in there. Forget I said that.
You can.
Yes.
If you put it in manually through this system, through Canvas, then does it link your assignments? You know what I mean? Like if you have an assignment in your syllabus.
That you've created here, or in the syllabus itself?
In the syllabus itself. I mean, I guess you have to actually add an assignment.
Right.
Through the assignment.
Let me tell you what I would do, and I did this in Blackboard when I taught at Hawkins. I created my syllabus in Word. I saved it as a PDF so they couldn't change it and tell me I did something else, right? And I would just attach it, okay? Or just attach it. And you can do that in here. And let's edit this very quickly. We're gonna.
But then, you had said before that your assignments, et cetera, will update from the syllabus.
Well,
That will-
she's talking about assignments she created in the syllabus in Word, not assignments she created here.
Right, so
I think, so you basically, if you want the assignments to be on Canvas, you could not upload it the way, with a PDF. You can say, no, I'm going to recreate my syllabus in Canvas, and then all those assignments will.
Well, let me put it to you. Any assignment that you put in Canvas, that you create in Canvas, is that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
You created 7 assignments in Canvas for this course. They all populate down here automatically
In the syllabus.
in the syllabus. Yeah. See, this is what the next thing I was going to tell you, because that's kind of the good thing about the syllabus and the bad thing. Because if you have 60 assignments, announcements, that's all going to populate down here. You're going to get a long, unwieldy list.
Well, announcements won't.
Announcements won't, but assignments do, and other sorts of events that you may create, okay? So those all populate down here. So the advantage of this syllabus is you get this top section that you can edit and change any way you like. You can add files to it and so forth. But down here, you have no control about what happens down at the bottom of that page. That is populated as you create events and assignments in Canvas. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Okay, we can talk right after class if you like. I'll be
It
happy
also
to.
populates it on the calendar too, right? I mean, like everything
Yeah.
that you add.
Yeah, they all talk to each other.
Okay.
Yep.
Anything I'm going to
So how do you download it on this page?
How does who download?
How would I download my syllabus?
Or upload it to this page?
Upload
Yeah.
it to that page.
Yeah, you would upload. Look, this is the thing. When I think of a syllabus, I think of a document that I've created that has my name at the top, my education. I have the objectives of the course, the title of the course, the book list, right? And then what I used to do, you may or may not do this. Week 1, we're going to do this. Week 1 and 2, we're going to do this. That's what a syllabus is to me.
Yeah.
And if that's what a syllabus is to you, forget about this syllabus.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to do, you can post your syllabus in an announcement. You can say, let's do that. Let's go to announcements.
I want to post it here, though.
You can do it.
Well, how?
Oh, all right.
Okay.
How do
All
I
right.
upload it to that page?
We're going to do this now. We're going to pretend that that one of the documents that he has on his computer is a syllabus.
Okay.
And we're going to put it under Daniel Craig's picture. All right?
Right.
Load.
So there are several ways to do this. Let's go to syllabus.
Waiting for it to load.
We're going to edit the syllabus description. And right under his name, we're going to press return. Okay? This is where the syllabus is going to end up.
Okay.
Now, I could either upload the syllabus as a file, right?
How?
Or I can put a link to the syllabus. All right? Let's upload it as a file because that's the one I understand better.
I see, yeah.
Okay? So I'm going to upload a new file. And he's going to go and browse for my syllabus. And these are all his choices, right? And so let's go to the easy one, file, Canvas training. And let's open that one. And here, we're going to call this PowerPoint presentation my syllabus. Let's pretend that's what it is. Okay.
And
Go ahead.
important thing to note, see this is where it's going to upload that file to your course.
It's going to bring that file up into your file section, and you can tell it where to go.
So if you have multiple folders in that course, you get to choose where you put it. If not, I'll just put it in the
But
course.
upload it.
So if not, where will it put it?
It'll just put it in the course folder, just there.
All right, now I want you to put the cursor right beside Craig again. Press return again. Right here.
Is that Greg?
Yep. Press return. Below is your course syllabus. Okay? So you just bring a document in there. Yeah. So here's what you need to know about this. Because you're the boss. You know how to teach your course better than anybody. You don't want to let Canvas constrain you, right? You want Canvas to enable you to do things that you can't otherwise do. All right, so the things you do best with your students face-to-face, you should keep doing them face-to-face with your students. The things that Canvas can help you do that were a pain before, let Canvas do those things for you. Okay? Update syllabus. And there it is. Okay?
So that saves it.
I saved it. It's right there. It's a link.
But update when you
Yeah.
press update. that-
Pressing update.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Now we are at 11:23. We've got about 37 minutes left, and usually I finish at about 1:15, and I'd like to do that today. So you'll have a little time afterwards if you need to hang around, or if you need to get to class or something. So if you have questions, we're going to be happy to answer them. But if you have a question that's going to, maybe it's just a question you have, I want you to scribble it down, put your email address on that card. I promise you I'll either call you or I'll email you with an answer by this time tomorrow. Okay?
Should we get the notifications?
Notifications comes last. We're going to wait for a minute on that. All right, folks. Well, you stay where you are, and I'm going to ask Ken to go up to courses and pick the one that's called Getting Started Fully Designed. Now, good, close that. This used to have a picture in the middle of it. I don't know what happened to the picture, but this is something that somebody built here in Canvas. And this is the syllabus page. You can see she's attached her document, syllabus. She can preview it. You can either preview it or you can open it, view it in a new window. So that's one way for the students to get it. Look at this, all populated by itself down here. Assignments, different kinds of things that the instructor posted in there, populates this automatically, okay? With the most recent first, the least recent first, and most recent at the bottom. It's another kind of a pain with this. So if you make this your homepage, this is what the student sees. This instructor who built this course made the syllabus the homepage by doing this. And we're going to do this. Change homepage layout. Anytime you're in a course and you click home, you have that little button that says change homepage layout. And we're going to click it again so you can see what your choices are. Click it again. And now, when people visit the course page, show them the what? What do you want to show them? The assignments with the syllabus, which is what we just saw. The communication stream, which is the default, right? A page I'll design myself. And if you choose that, it'll open into a wiki page that you can design yourself. The course modules sections, we're going to talk about that in a minute. The assignment list, which is just a list of assignments that you've created in Canvas, or the assignments list in with syllabus, which is what this instructor had as the homepage. Right? That's the top that you develop and the bottom that populates by itself. All right? So, if you wanted the assignments list with syllabus, it's already here. Yours just has recent activity. I want you to go ahead and click that, change the, I want you to get to this page. Let's take them back so we can make sure they get here. Okay, go to home, click home. You're going to see one called recent activity. Okay, I see this. Click that change home page layout.
Yeah.
If I'm very pedestrian, so
Okay.
my homepage, I want to have 3 or 4 folders, readings, syllabus, something, something, something.
Yeah.
Just,
If I were you, and that's all I wanted, I would pick modules. Let's pick modules so you can see what modules looks like. Course modules sections. Okay. Update layout. Now, if you're interested, as this gentleman is, in just having documents and assignments posted there, you can use this modules tool, and it's very powerful. Very powerful. If you take the modules course later on this fall, you'll see what I'm talking about. Here, you can set up a module. Maybe it's called week 1, right? And there are 4 things you want your students to do in week 1. You can actually go into this module and say they have to complete the top one before they get to the second one. They've got to get a 75 on that quiz before they can finish this one. Okay? You can set it up that way. I'm not going to show you how to do that today, but you can do that. So what you're saying is you just want to post some documents there, right? Okay, so this is what it looks like once you've done that. Okay? If you make this your home page, this is a module. This person has broken it into week 1, week 2, and week 3, and so on. Yes?
Is it possible to add individuals to modules?
What do you mean add individuals?
Have individuals only have access to particular modules?
Specific students.
To specific
no.
modules? I don't think so.
Okay.
But I think you can make it so that only TAs can see this and only students can see that.
The downside of I'm sorry about that, that's not going to work. You can't do that. But the downside of modules is this is all you can do, right? You can't put directions in there. You can't say this. You have to talk to them about it. Okay.
So it's almost like the course documents?
What it is content. It just groups your content. However you might want to do it. Now see, that's the way he wants to do it. It's the way I did it when I used Blackboard. I had week 1 up there. You click in there, the PowerPoint's in there, all the course documents, the URLs I want you to have, it's all in one place. And if that's the way you teach, this is a good way to do it. Okay? Yes?
So you could put your syllabus as a document in the syllabus area, and then you could do the weeks as the modules underneath that.
Yeah, or you can put your syllabus right in here. Let's add it, let's see, let's add a new module. When you add a new module, give it a name. We're going to call this test. You can lock it onto a different given date. You can add prerequisites to it, okay? They must complete what? They have to do week 1, 2, they have to do week 1 before they can do week 2, right? We don't want to spend too much time on this. I'm sorry. I will talk to you more about it. Let's go ahead and add the module. You're gonna have to probably scroll down to get to it, and there it is. And this is it. It's an empty box. Add item to module. So if I want to put my syllabus in there, I click Add item to module, I navigate to my syllabus, I put it in. Yeah. So it depends on how you teach, yes.
Yeah, how can you make it look kind of nicely summarized? Like it just seems week 1, week 2, week 3.
Yeah, that's it. No, that's a weakness of modules.
Oh.
You can't do that.
The only editing you can do in modules is making stuff move over so that they know that you want to do this one closest to the
Yeah,
left
you can
before
make
they
it like an outline form, and you can tell them that they can't do this till they do this. You can actually, if you put a test or a quiz in there, they have to get a certain score before they can continue.
So on each of those modules, you can upload, say, an assignment
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
or a link that you up to a video you want them to watch
Yes.
and reflect on.
Yes. It's like a box that you're putting stuff in. Think of it that way. It's just that you're collecting stuff and you're putting it there
Organized
for them
box.
to.
So
Yeah.
where's the upload button?
Add item to module. Add item to
Add
module.
item to module. Okay.
After you make a module over
See
here,
this?
then you get this button under the module.
Go ahead and click it, and we're going to move on after this. You can add all kinds of stuff that's already in your course. Yes?
This isn't really just the modules. If you want to add a file from your desktop into the module, can you do that?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, very quickly, add item to module. And it's going to be a file. I select, well, you're going too fast, Kate.
Sorry.
He wants to add a file, right? So click File. And go ahead, scroll down. Now all the files that are in your course will show up for you. But if you don't see it, you click the New File, and then you browse for it. See, it's really intuitive. In fact, I never did that until just now. It kind of knows what you're thinking about. I mean, they've kind of designed it so that new users can really figure, and I know you would figure that out in no time. Just click the way you think you should through this, and it pretty much will anticipate what you want to do. Yes?
If I get this all organized for spring 2013, and
Yes.
I'm going to teach the same course in the fall of 2013,
Yes.
so I'm going to keep all my organization.
Yeah, because when your class starts in the fall, that course will populate, and you're going to be able to import all the content from your spring course into your fall course. And we're going to try to talk about that very quickly, okay? Okay? So, I have it all on card so I don't skip anything. Hold on, please. All right, so without going into a lot of detail, you have all kinds of ways to design your homepage. And once you tell it you want it to be the homepage, that's what your students see as soon as they log in. Okay? And again, you can make it a page you design yourself, which is just a wiki page that you design yourself. Put your picture in there, you put your syllabus, whatever you want. You can make it the syllabus, you can make it the modules, or you can make that recent activity communication stream, which is the default. Copy course materials. Now, let's say that you're teaching a class in the spring, you got it down perfect. Everything is in there exactly the way you want it. And you're going to teach the same class in the fall. You click on it in the fall, and it's either wrong or it doesn't have anything in it. Okay? Yeah, let's do that one. Getting started. So he's going to go to a class that we have that's empty. Okay?
And that's very slow today. Here we are.
Okay, so you have several choices, and I only remember the first one, so I'm going to hope he remembers the others. One way to import content is right here on this next steps bar. See? Import content. Do you remember where the other ones are?
Yep. The other way to get to where this will take you is to go to Settings in that course, and then Import
Import
Contents.
content into this course. And clicking either one of those links will do the same thing, so go ahead and click it.
Actually, what you want to do, copying from a fall to a spring, would be the one above it. Copy this course. Or actually, copy this course makes this course into a file that you can then send to another
Okay,
one.
That's for another try. Let's do the easy one.
You have to set up an empty course, you have to have empty course space.
Right.
Your spring will be empty. Once
Once
whoever
you're
makes your new course makes it, it'll be empty.
Do you request it just like you used to for?
No, I believe your courses are just made.
No, your courses are made in the central database. The University of Maryland, they associate your name with your students with your courses.
So we no longer have to ask Deb.
That's right. Let's import content into the, yes.
When I click on a course from last spring, and
Yeah.
it's curating my course list, there's nothing there. So I can't do it because that's a different,
All right, let me start again, because I must not have been clear.
okay.
If you have a course set up in Canvas, and it's not right, you can do that reset course thing. Remember we showed you that erases everything out of the course. Now you've got a course, but it's empty, right? It still has its students, still has the TAs, it still has you, but there's no content in that course. But I taught that course last semester, and it was perfect last semester, okay? So, or I taught it in Blackboard. I can import here from Blackboard. It won't be perfect, but you get it. You're not going to get some of the stuff in Blackboard. You won't get your, can't remember. But some of the stuff will come in, some of the stuff won't come in, okay?
Can I also try to answer your question? It sounded like you were more asking, like you said you were trying to copy from a course in Canvas that has no content.
Right, so my course that was in, if we go to courses,
Yeah.
one of the courses from last spring that was in Blackboard is listed under courses. When I go to that course, there's nothing there.
So it could have not been imported yet, and you'd still have to ask us to do that. Because there were a few that in the giant import did not go through, and or your new class already has all your stuff in it. I would check all of your available courses to see if any of it has files.
Okay.
Okay, so here we are with import content. I can import files, I can import quizzes. If you created quizzes, I don't know how that would work. So I'm sorry, I can't answer any questions about quizzes, but you can import files. And you can also copy content from another Canvas course or import content from a content package or from another system. So when my son was at Penn State, they used Angel, right? So that would be one of the choices here. You guys used Blackboard last semester, so that would be one of your choices. If you click this, you want to bring something in from Blackboard, go ahead and click it. Choose the system, and here are your choices. Blackboard, and so on. See, you'd have to go to Blackboard and export your course, right? You have to go to Blackboard, export your course as a zip file, and you can do, there's a function in Blackboard that lets you do that, and then you can import it.
First, you have to change your file names, right?
Well,
If
it
you
would
have
help.
any.
Yeah, whatever, yes. So here's the idea. This is not automatically linked to Blackboard. It's not linked to Angel. You have to go to Blackboard and export your course. And now you've got a file called whatever the course was, and now you can import it here. I know that's confusing. You call us if you need to do that. Okay, or email us and we'll help you. Okay.
And how long will the Blackboard courses be on? I mean, like,
You have Blackboard through June. Your students won't see it, but you have all your Blackboard access for the rest of the
So if I
school.
teach one course only in the fall, will I have access to it?
No, you won't have Blackboard. So anything you need to do with Blackboard and Canvas, you're going to do before the summer. Yeah. Okay, let's forget about this for a minute because we're not going to go from Blackboard. Let's go ahead and back to content imports. Now we're going to copy content from another Canvas course. And I'd like you to just watch this. Okay. We're going to search for the course. There are a couple of ways to do that. One way would be to select it from this list. Let's go back again.
Well, I opened the list so I knew what it was called.
Well, I knew what it was called. This is one thing I remember. So you can type a G in there, right? And anything with a G is going to show up. That's one way to do it, right? Or you can just type getting and give it a second. And these are the choices. You see how that works. That's just a search thing. And we want to do the fully designed course, but hold on, don't do it yet. Let's go back a sec. Move away from that. I thought there was another. All right, forget it. Fully designed. Getting started fully designed. All right, and we want to copy from this course. Do we want to copy everything? Look at this thing. Adjust the events and due dates. Let's say you taught it Monday, Wednesday last semester, but this year it's Tuesday, Thursday. You can tell it when the date of your class starts that it's Tuesday, Thursday instead of Monday, Wednesday, and all of the dates come in correct. All the due dates, for example, will change from the fall semester to the spring semester. So let's go ahead and import everything. Import the course
Do you want
content.
to show one more thing real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Sometimes you might just want some things from that course. Uncheck this, and that's when it shows individual stuff from the other course that you can then select to import. But then clicking copy everything will copy everything.
Quit showing off. Okay. Import course content.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
If you uncheck it.
Have it be that not all of the important content is visible, or do you have to do that once you upload it in?
Yeah, once it's in the course, then you can go and lock files if you need to do that, and make the changes that you need to make about the menus and so forth, what you want the students to see, what you don't want them to see. Very good, thank you.
How did you get to, wait, how did you get to this page again? I'm sorry.
Oh, it's
I'll
okay.
go back in a second.
Yeah.
Okay.
Once this is done.
Okay.
He started in settings,
Oh, okay.
and then there's a link over to the right that says import course content. Now this takes a little while, but you get a little bar that tells you how you're doing.
Interesting. Interesting.
And if the course isn't appearing, you just request that it be a
What, the
course
one-
you've already taught that isn't converted into Canvas, you just request that. you make
You're not
it-
seeing, if you don't see the course, you have to make a request to have that added, yeah.
Could it be because of the material on the course? Like it was an entirely, it was a
No,
course
there
that-
there were just some courses that straight plain old were not done. We're not added, we're not imported, we're not done. So, and we've been doing those nonstop every day.
Okay, so you're getting an idea here of all the stuff that was imported. And if you click on the home page up at the top for this course we just imported into, remember this? This is what we imported. We imported that other course.
Yeah.
So if you set up a course this semester for like all sections, could you then just copy all of that content before you make it sort of individualized into each section of the section?
I don't know how sections work. I haven't played with it, but what I think is that you have a master course, which is
That's what we have now.
And you create sections.
And then we always have sections.
if sections look like new courses, then I would believe then yes, you could just copy the master course into that section.
All right. Let's, we're just about to finish up here. One of the other things you can do, let's go back to that original course called Getting Started in Canvas Workshop. And we're still in a course, but for the moment I wanted to go up to the global navigation page that we started on. So click the icon on the top left. And I'm going to ask you a big favor. I'm going to ask you to hold your questions to the end now, because we have several things to do, and we may not be able to get them all done if we stop for questions. There's no disrespect to you. But I want to get through the content, and if you have a minute after class, we'll be happy to sit with you. And if you want to email me or call me later on, I'll give you a phone number. You can call me and we'll talk about it. We want to talk about three more things. One is your profile. Okay? One is the notifications, where you're going to set up how you want to receive messages. And I want to show you how you can send messages in Canvas. And I guess that just those two things. Okay. So we're in our general area here now. If you go up and click settings, these are your global settings. Your global settings. Okay. You can edit your settings. If you click that, it's got all kinds of information about you. Okay. Go ahead and scroll down. And you can see that Deb here is registered with Google Docs and Facebook. Two ways she can communicate in Facebook. These are things you can add. Web services that you might be interested in. You're going to have to look at that in another training. You can't go into it in any detail today. Okay? right up to the top. And
When he was asking about adding more emails, this button right here.
yeah,
That's for you.
No, that's for
you.
students too.
Oh, okay.
They have
you,
this
you
thing.
can do this right now.
Okay.
Click on the, if you want to add an email address, for example, click on that University of Maryland icon. Click on the settings button in the top right of the screen. And you see over here, ways to contact. And if you click add email address, you can put your Google, what do you call it? Yahoo email, Google email, whatever else you need to add.
And students have the same ability.
And the students can do the same thing.
Okay.
You cannot remove your UMD, that's in there by default. Okay? You can also add another contact method. Go ahead and click that. Cell phone number. See? Put your cell phone in there. You can decide that you want them to text you. You want to get a message by text. Okay? And you actually pick the carrier. I did this the other day. You know what? I got a little text message. You've added text to Canvas. Go to Canvas and you can have a look at what it does. So what it does is it looks at your cell phone number. It makes sure that it all works. It sends you a text to tell you that it's worked. You can also add an email address here as well. Okay. Let's go to the notifications real quick.
Does that give them your cell phone?
No. They don't get anything.
Well,
No.
Canvas
No,
gets your
no.
cell phone number, your students don't.
Canvas gets your cell phone number so that, well, let me show you this feature, and this might explain it for you. Look at the left side of the page here. Once again, we clicked the Maryland icon, we clicked settings, and on the left, now we're going to click notifications. We were just in settings over here, now we're in notifications. And look what this does. This says, for example, discussions. Let's say we have discussions with our students, right? Discussion entries. How do you want to get those? Well, I can get a notification right away. As soon as a student posts a discussion, I can get a notification right away. I can get it once a day, I can get it once a week, or I can not get it at all. This is where your students can say, I don't want to hear anything from this instructor. Right? Now, that's only under this email address. You see, she has an email address, 2 email addresses, and Facebook. And she can make these adjustments in all of those areas. Right? So maybe she wants to, let's see. Let's get one that everybody understands. Oh, good on.
Schedule.
Calendar.
There you go, calendar. Somebody adds something to the calendar. Okay? I want to know right away. Right? And I want to know it at this email address. I can say I don't want to know it at this email address. I only want to know it on Facebook. Right? So it's a way for you to set up your notifications so that you get communications from the course the way you want to get them. All right, the last thing I want to show you is the inbox up there, the conversations piece. Click inbox. Now, because inbox is up at the top of the page, it's a global inbox. Okay? So over here, I'm getting a list of all the communications from any student or TA who made the communication from all of my classes. Okay? I do have this filter though. And I can go up there and I can say, I only want to see the messages from, go ahead and click that little icon on the front, on the right. I only want to see the emails from these 25 people in this first course. And I can also click on this little arrow that says, I only want to see from the students, or I can click on this arrow, and I can say I only want to see from that student. Right? So you can filter right down and see only the messages, good luck, only the messages over here that you want to see. Okay? That's viewing messages. To send a message, and you have these same options, you can send a message to people in all of your courses. I'll be sick next week. I'm sick next week. I can't be in class. You're free. You know, that goes to all of your classes. Good luck.
Thank you.
Or I can send it to a particular class, a particular group of TAs, a particular group of students, or a particular set of students within a group, or a particular student. These are completely private. When you send a student a message, if that student says, I want to get all my notifications by Facebook, as soon as you send that kid the message, on Facebook, on their, what do you call it thing? Wall, they get a message that says that your professor so-and-so has sent you a message. Click here, it'll take you to Canvas. You can log in and see what the message is. They don't get the message in their email. They get an email that says they have a message in Canvas.
And if they put in the alternate email address, does it go to both boxes?
If they wanted to,
Yes.
they decide how they're receiving the message. You cannot control that.
It sort of creates the problem where they can say, oh, I didn't have it set up, I didn't get to see the email.
Right.
I mean, would you recommend this semester to just send them normal old emails? Or is this something that they'll have been trained in so that
All right.
they're not going to cop out?
Well, I told you I was a fourth grade teacher, you know, and so I expect anything from kids. Here's what I would say. First day of class, I'm going to send you messages this way. And if you don't get, I'm going to send you a test message this afternoon. And if you don't get it, I need to know by tomorrow. Right?
What a lot of
You need to
teachers
know
are
by
actually doing is in their, if they do modules in week 1, the first module, very first one, will be like getting started, and that it'll say, this is how you set up your notifications. Just simple way of teaching the kids that that's what they need to know.
Yeah, do you all have access, do you have projectors in most classrooms here? I mean, can you hook your laptop up pretty much? This is a good tutorial for your students the first day. You can set up all your expectations, and I'll bet most of them come to class with their laptop, don't they? They can do it right while you're showing them. I don't know if you're willing to spend a class period teaching them Canvas, but if you're going to be a robust user of Canvas, and you expect them to be, it's probably a good idea for you to show them what your expectations are.
And if you don't feel like typing up, this is how you do it, we have actually made videos, and there are other videos out there on YouTube, just how to set up notifications. Just post that link in there, and they can watch it.
Oh, and finally, everything we talked about is talked about in more detail in that manual you have. There's a whole section on notifications. So you can have a look in there and see if that helps you.
And they'll see it the same way, so that when we try to teach them based on this is the format that they'll be looking at.
Yeah, they have to choose how they want to get it. They've got to choose. Now, if you have any further questions, please write them on that card or ask them now. I'm going to be here for the next half an hour. If you want to hang around a little bit, I'll be happy to talk to you. And so, Ken, are you available for another 20 minutes or so? We're here if you need us. Otherwise, thanks for coming. Enjoy meeting you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Very good. Yeah,
I'm going to go ahead and,
Let me get my glasses so I can see what we're talking
I'm
about.
going to go ahead and stop it.
Okay, you're the man.